Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome back to the show. Take a sip, hosted by yours truly, Kieran Anthony Hickey Simple. It's very nice to be here with you guys tonight. We just watched a very frustrating basketball game. If you're a Texas fan, goodness gracious, I can't imagine having to sit through that terrible basketball game that we just watched. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that game was that game was very frustrating. But you know what's not frustrating, and you know what'll take the edge off, take all that anxiety away. Taking a trip on over to our partners over there at RogueShop.com. They're already in the comment section. Okay, first here, and you can use promo code TakeASip25 for 25% off on RogueShop.com. Guys, if you want to get hooked up with your CBD needs, CBD THC needs, they have CBD oils, topicals, edibles, mushroom spray kits, smokable hemp products, whatever you need, they got it. So make sure you guys take a trip on over to RogueShop.com and get over the terrible basketball that we all just witnessed. I guess we got to start the show there, because goodness gracious, what a basketball game! What an absolute stinker of a basketball game! I'm gonna need to take multiple trips to RogueShop.com. Not gonna lie, I want to forget that ever happened. I think that's what I want to do tonight. It's a pleasure being here with you guys. I will agree, though. I see a comment here from Tony Bailey early on. Basketball losses don't feel the same because you know your team will lose at least a couple of times. It gets real during March Madness. Yes, but I think the thing you can take away from basketball losses is the bad habits that you show in your losses always come back up later on in the tournament. So the less of those that you show and the more you improve on those deficiencies, the better that you do in the tournament. Because at the end of the day, like last year, we couldn't defend bigs down low. We played solid team defense, but not enough against teams that had good big play, right? And then also we weren't capable of scoring, and Marcus Carr running the offense was a huge issue. But tonight, I think you saw a lot of that. I think you saw a lot of last year in tonight's basketball game. And I think tonight just confirmed we need Tyrese Hunter way more than we originally thought. Yes, Marcus Carr does look better than he did last year. I'm not going to let one bad game really just take away all the improvement that I've seen him make. But God bless America, bro. Like, he cannot be the primary ball handler, especially in the clutch. Especially in the clutch. He was abysmal tonight. I don't want to go too hard on him. It was his first, I would say, really bad game of the year, but goodness gracious, he was 0 of 5 from the 3. At least he hit his free throws tonight, but him and Tyrese Hunter both didn't really have good shooting games. But, man, it just, turnovers. It was, 4 straight possessions that he just completely wasted opportunities that we had to get the game closer. We went down 7 to start off that overtime period. And the fact that while we were down 7, we cut the lead to 1 and we turned the ball over on, I think it was 2 of the 5 possessions that we had after we got it to a 1-point game. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? I see a comment here. They're wasting Dylan Mitchell's talent. I think Dylan's still really raw offensively. I think I still think you got to play him later on in that game. I think you wouldn't have given up as many easy opportunities as you did defensively if you would have played him later in that game. So that was my thing. But I don't know. Arterio Morris, I think, needs more burn, to be honest with you. Especially late in the game. Like, dude, why are we playing? I don't know. I can't sit there and say, why are you playing Marcus Carr as the primary ball handler? Because who else do you really have? You know what I mean? Do you want Rice taking the ball up the floor? Do you want Arterio Morris taking the ball up the floor whenever he's looked as green as possible this year? I think it looked so much like last year, guys. Did it not? When Marcus Carr was taking the ball up the floor, it looked so much like last year. And honestly, I thought what we were going to do this year was Tyrese Hunter is going to be your main primary ball handler, and he's going to be the focal point of your team, the superstar of your team. And I thought we were going to have Marcus Carr and Arterio Morris rotating. I think if that type of play continues from Marcus Carr, you're going to have to. I see Rogue Shop's comment, can't Morris play point at all? You're going to have to get him to a point where he can. Because that right there was inexcusable. That was bad. That was really, really, really bad. Just to have that many empty possessions where nobody's touching the ball but you. Nobody, like, dude, let's talk about the last shot of the game. You got Rice wide open right there. Not only that, he wanted to play hero ball. When the game got to 1 point, it was just like, oh, well, it's Marcus Carr's show, and he wants to take over. And he does have the ability to. Don't get me wrong. Marcus Carr can go out there and make a really tough shot, and everyone's going to give him credit if he makes it, but then diss him if he doesn't. So I'm not going to sit here and crap all over the kid tonight, but at the same time, we need better. In a big game like that, you're in Madison Square Garden against a really solid opponent. You need to play good team basketball. That is our brand. And the playing superhero stuff just wasn't going to work for us tonight. It was not good. Bad shooting down the stretch. And then also, man, Tyrese Hunter had a chance to ice the game. He really had a chance to ice the game late there, and he missed that free throw. That killed us. That really killed us. I was surprised that happened because Tyrese Hunter's a really good free throw shooter. But, man, I mean, he missed his second free throw of the entire season tonight in the clutch. But, oh, man, I'm happy. I'm happy that we're in the spot that we're in. But now the real questions are going to start coming. Can this team win away from home? We have a really solid home environment, but can this team win away from home? Because you're going to have to do it in some pretty rough environments in conference play this year. And what is it going to look like when teams can score with you? What is it going to look like when you have to match points? You know, you played a solid defensive game tonight, especially in the second half up until the very end. But man, it didn't look good tonight. It didn't look good. It was pretty ugly. It was pretty ugly. And I hate taking basketball losses like that, bro. Like, and I get it. Like, everyone's going to destroy them. Oh, you blew a 10-point lead in the second, like with 7 minutes left. Like, that's like in college basketball, it's such a game of momentum and runs. Well, that's just basketball in general, but I'm not gonna kill the kids for blowing a 10-point lead with 7 minutes left. Like, anything can change. We almost came back from a 7-point deficit as soon as overtime started. That was phenomenal for us to get right back in it in 2 possessions. The way we closed out the game was terrible though. Brock Cunningham, God bless his soul. He puts in so much effort, and he genuinely does more good than he does bad. So I don't want to diss on the kid. Also, he was probably your best shooter tonight. So I'm not going to go too hard on Brock Cunningham. He made threes that kept us in the game late whenever we shouldn't even have really been there. Let's see. Yeah, Carr and Tyrese were off. But that's the problem though, guys. If you have a night in the tournament where Carr and Tyrese are off, you're losing. You're going to lose. Unless you get Arterio Morris to a point where he's hot and he's usable. Like, and to me, that's the big thing. Is like, Arterio Morris is the catalyst, because whenever you have 3 of them, that's hard to stop. But with just Carr, or Tyrese Hunter, if you lose Tyrese Hunter, say to injury like you saw tonight, it's a completely different basketball team. It almost is like it reverts right back to what it was last year. Tyrese Hunter is the focal point of this offense. And if you don't have him on the floor, if you don't have that true point presence, it's going to be a problem. But I don't know. I'm curious. What do you guys think? What adjustment should Chris Beard make? I think this team is still really freaking good. It just, tonight was an embarrassing loss and one that we should have won. But I think going into conference play here pretty soon, you can't make those types of mistakes. You really can't. Yeah, we need to get Allen playing like he did last year. I don't think that's going to happen, simply because there's other guys that demand the ball, and they're, I don't want to say better, but like I want the ball in Tyrese Hunter's hand. I want the ball in Arterio Morris's hands if he's getting on the floor. And I get Timmy Allen should be giving you those opportunities, but I don't think him taking as many shots as he was taking a game last year is what I really want. Also, man, I don't know. I have takes on Timmy Allen. I think he's so tough, and I think he's a really solid college basketball player. But last year in those big games, he didn't really show up. And yeah. That's exactly what I want to talk about though too. Carson here, going small was not the play. 4 guards? Why? And you saw Illinois, and he went away from it. I'm not sure if that was because of injury or what was going on, but you saw we went 4 guards to start overtime, and they just went inside over and over and over and over again. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out. And, tonight I'm still taking a sip of that burnt orange Kool-Aid because I believe in the team. I think we're going to be able to rebound from this pretty easily. I think it's pretty clear what was going on. Late in the game, Marcus Carr has not earned the right to be the primary ball handler. And I think even if he is the one taking the ball up court, you gotta tell him that this hero ball stuff is just not going to work for us. Especially even if Tyrese Hunter's hurt or out of the game, like you need somebody else, or you need to be very ball movement centric. So I don't know. Yeah. Beer needs to keep the defensive pressure all game. That's how we get good, easy shots in transition. Then we go to slowing down and playing half court. We are not very good. Yeah, no. We're not a good half court offense. Because that's the thing. That's not Beard's game. Let's be honest here. Beard is a phenomenal defensive coach. Everyone plays with incredible defensive intensity. And I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that's getting absolutely blown out in games. I think his team and the way we play defensive basketball is going to keep us in a lot of games. But, absolutely, I want to say inept offensively, but I think he really needs some offensive superstars to be an elite unit on that side of the ball, because that's just not his game. That's really just not his game. But yeah, basketball, it is what it is. I like that comment there by Aaron. If you hit it, you're a hero, but if you don't, everybody's going to be dissing you. This season, he's hit those shots more than he hasn't, but tonight he wasn't. And I think whenever he's off, I think obviously you want confidence from your shooter, but let's realize that we're having an off night, and maybe it's not the best to go take on 2 or 3 guys in the paint. Maybe it's not the best to just put the team on your back when nobody asked you to. I think that's that might not be the best option. But we are here to talk about all things Texas Longhorns. We're talking about basketball currently, but I do want to get to the biggest thing this week. The biggest thing that's going on this week. Transfer portal madness. Oh my goodness. This week has been absolutely incredible. Like last week, I had Robert Griffin III on the show. That feels like a month ago at this point. This week, Deion Sanders is a Power 5 head coach. A&M has lost half of their roster, and I don't think they're done losing players either. The transfer portal has just been full of talented players, and the crazy thing is, I know there's so many more coming, and it's college football free agency, and I'm all for it. I'm really all for it, but I'm excited to talk about this here. The transfer portal is hurting so many teams right now, and I think a lot of feelings are going to get hurt later on. But Texas is in a great spot. I couldn't have asked for a better result for us in the portal. Like, we're losing players that we didn't expect to be here next year anyway. And to me, that's a plus sign, because at the end of the day, if you have people leaving because you're just not that good of a program, or because they don't see themselves ever being able to maximize their potential at your program and they're really talented players that you wanted to, then you have a problem. But this is why I'm okay with Steve Sarkisian having an 8-4 game, or having an 8-4 season. Yes, it wasn't the prettiest thing. Yes, you lost 4 games that you should have won every single one of those. As a matter of fact, you probably should have blown the other team out in every single one of those as well. But you still have an opportunity to pitch belief to not only recruits, but to transfer portal targets. And it's a slow build. It's a slow build. That's what this whole thing is kind of making me realize. That's really what's making me realize. And that's a good point though. How many bowl games do you think will be canceled because of transfers? I don't think any, but I think the betting odds in these bowl games are going to be all over the place. I'm willing to bet if all the draft, like the real draftable players on Alabama end up bouncing out of that bowl game, Kansas State might be a favorite in that game. That's like, they're going to be missing everybody. Gibbs, Bryce Young's going to be gone. Their offensive line has already hit the portal. Defensively, I don't see Will Anderson playing in that game. I don't see Jordan Battle or Brian Branch or Malachi Moore or Eli Ricks playing in that game. Is Toto trying to go to the draft? I don't see there's so many. I think the Vegas, like for a real gambling man, you know what I mean? I wouldn't think of myself as a real gambling man, but I might get involved in this because the action is going to be incredible. It is going to be crazy. It's like it's going to be all over the place. There's so many people that have gone into the transfer portal already that would have been starters on their bowl teams. And that to me is like, it's crazy. Like Spencer Sanders was like, did Oklahoma State make a bowl game? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they did. I think they definitely made a bowl game. But yeah, like he would be a start. Like they're going to deal with a backup quarterback in that bowl game. That throws the odds way off. This is going to be insane. But I think, like Chris Nelson said, the bowl games are completely meaningless with all the opt-outs and transfers. That's that's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, though, too. With all of these transfers happening, how can anyone be upset about a 12-team playoff? Or possibly even more? I'm not upset about that at all. At all. I'm excited to see players staying. I mean, dude, we're seeing players leave, like, opt out of going to the playoff. Jackson Smith-Njigba's not playing in the playoff. Like, I don't know. I don't want to see these bowl games anymore, to be honest with you. We could really do away with them. That's just where I'm at. I love watching football, so for that I will always be thankful. I will love watching, the Bahamas Bowl. You know what I mean? Like the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, but goodness gracious, no. To be fair, JSN, he's injured and couldn't play anyway. So yes, I think that's the smart move for him in his career. If he's going to the draft anyway next year. But if there's rumblings of him possibly playing against Michigan, he got re-injured or his development, like his healing process got so delayed that with an extra month of time to rehab, whatever, he's not going to be playing in that game. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I got skeptical eyes towards that. That's I don't know. But hey, if he really is hurt, my bad. I think it's the right decision anyway. Ohio State's going to get killed, just in my honest opinion, unless CJ Stroud goes out there and looks like a monster. No, but yeah, okay. That's something that we got to talk about though too, man. Dude, Deion Sanders hitting the portal. Not hitting the portal. No, yeah, Deion Sanders hitting the portal this offseason. That's going to be something that like is a real concern for us in the state of Texas. And I will say there's been two things that have happened the past week that are really good, but also really bad things for the state of Texas in recruiting. One, Deion Sanders is the new head coach at Colorado. He is going to crush it in recruiting. He is going to absolutely annihilate it in recruiting. And I think his best plan of action is getting all the guys, all the 5-star guys that didn't have a chance, or not didn't have a chance, but maybe just didn't work out. They made the wrong decision, went to the wrong school, A&M. You know what I mean? Like I he's coming. I think it's a really solid situation for Deion over there. And guess what? He is going to hit Texas hard as he possibly can, because he should. There's so much talent in this state, and I think he's going to be bringing in those guys, those 5-star guys from the South that he wants. I mean, you saw he's not very fond of the talent that's already at Colorado, but, I think Deion's going to be a real problem on that recruiting trail. And the second big thing that's happened this past week is Rashad Samples and Brian Carrington are teamed up again, and they're at Arizona State. Now, I love this because they're not in the state of Texas. They're not. I think they're going to be a problem. They're going to be getting some good kids from elsewhere, but you got them out of the state of Texas. If they were going to be teamed up at TCU and they still had, like, if Rashad Samples didn't end up taking that LA Rams job and he stayed at TCU this season and they had the season that they just did, and you told me Brian Carrington and Rashad Samples were still going to be at TCU next year, my God, they would be taking some people right now. I wholeheartedly believe that. Even TCU, the small little guy that we should be dominating, but they're low-key dominating us on the field. they would be taking some guys. That is an elite recruiting tandem right there. And I'm so happy they're not in the state of Texas anymore because it allows Texas in this offseason too. I don't care if it's the portal. I don't care if it's flipping recruits. Brother, we have to take this state back with an iron fist. And I understand you're never going to be able to lock down the whole state. The Mac Brown era of college football is never going to exist again where you can just be like, oh, well, I offered this kid. He's going to come because he's the one that I wanted. It's never going to happen again. I don't think that's ever going to happen again. But I will say you have such a huge opportunity to capitalize on weaknesses right now from other programs. You do. Your biggest competition right now, in my opinion, is LSU. A&M, what's that Dwayne The Rock Johnson video? Just a big piece of black, you know what I mean? Dog crap. Absolute nightmare down there right now. Oklahoma, what? No. You have an opportunity to really capitalize on some stuff. But it is what it is. I think you'll get to a point where Texas is if you're matching what you're pitching to real performances on the field, we're not going to have a problem at all. You're not going to have a problem at all. I see Colorado only won one game. Yes, but I don't think that matters. They're going to be a completely different roster next year. I don't think they're going to go and win something crazy next year, but man, we can talk about Deion a little bit later. But I did want to get to Texas here, though. I'm curious, guys. What do y'all think Texas's transfer portal needs are? Go ahead and drop them in the comments because I want to know what you guys think. Like, what team, like what positions do you want filled? What positions are you interested in seeing filled? Because in my opinion, you have probably about, I think defensively, you need to be open to taking transfers everywhere. And then offensively, I think it's just receiver. That's just my opinion. If I'm looking at this team, I think you offer a starting level corner. You'd offer a starting level safety. You offer a starting level linebacker. And then also, you'd offer a starting level edge. I don't think there's going to be a starting level edge hitting the portal. Maybe there already is. I don't know, because there's some really talented guys coming out of A&M. But, no, I don't know. Linebacker, receiver, safety, and D-line. Yes. I think you getting Tavondre Sweat back next year makes all the world. Like, it makes all the difference in the world. Because now you just run, I think you have Byron Murphy there. Hopefully Alfred Collins comes back, so you have a rotational piece there. You have Tavondre Sweat. You're going to get some young guys there. You know. Let's see. Wide receiver, DB, tight end, linebacker, and defensive line. I don't think you're really going to look for him at tight end. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think you're really going to look transfer portal at tight end. You have JT coming back. You have Juan Davis sitting there. I'm not sure if he's hit the portal or not, or if he's even considering it. Like, I hope Juan Davis ends up staying because I think he can really fill into that Jaleel Billingsley role. And you have Gunnar Helm back next year. I think tight end you'll be okay. Yeah, Cedric Baxter is a dude. I think at running back you're fine. Inside linebacker is a need. Hope Jalen Ford stays. If Jalen Ford stays and you land in Anthony Hill, I think those are your two starting linebackers, and I think it's the safest bet. And yes, even Anthony Hill is a freshman. I think he's that talented. I would say, but you still need a transfer. And this is my thing. Hold on, I really want to talk about this. This is my thing with the linebacker. If you want to get a linebacker in the transfer portal, we need to be on it now. Now. Last season was just, we're looking to get Jalen Moody. He ends up going back to Alabama. We're kind of flirting with this linebacker from Louisiana Tech. We're flirting with this linebacker from this school. And then all of that happens just for us to end up getting DTD. And not that DTD didn't have a good enough year. I think for a James Madison transfer, he did exactly what I thought he might have done, you know. He went in there. He was rotational. He got some tackles. He got a sack in a big moment. Like, didn't have a bad season, I wouldn't say, but also he wasn't real. I wouldn't say he was a serious contributor. I want to get a guy, if you're going to use one in that type of role, that's going to get as many snaps. And I wouldn't say he's not a serious contributor. He didn't have serious production. If you're going to go out there and get a transfer linebacker, be solid about it now and go get you one. Go get you a good one. Go get you one that's going to push Anthony Hill. That's how I feel about it. But I think we need to be active in the portal. Said, I don't know we're going to be active in the portal until signing day. I think you need to focus on getting this class done. You have so many guys that are locked in right now. The fact that we have the majority of this class locked in, and there's really only one player that I'm really concerned about possibly flipping, and that's Derek Williams, and I really hope that we get him locked in and get him early enrolled because I think he could get on the field early as well at field safety. Not starting, but I think he could definitely contribute next year. But yeah, I think the biggest transfer portal needs, it's definitely going to be corner, just because I trust T. Brooks' development. He's still young. I think he's just turned 18 or something like that. But he's still very young. I think he's going to develop and be amazing. But you're not sure at that position. You're bringing in Manny Muhammad, Terrence Brooks. Jade could move back outside, and then you move someone else to nickel. Maybe Keaton goes down to nickel. Jalen Gilbo's there at nickel too. So who knows? I think you have options there at corner, but I want another body in that room because you need one. And you didn't really address it as much as you could have in this recruiting class. Like, I thought Jordan Matthews was going to be here with Malik Muhammad, or Javian Toviano was going to be here with Malik Muhammad. And you didn't get either one of those guys. So you got to be able to do it. What's the situation with Brendan Thompson? I thought we would see more of him as a freshman. He's a stud. I think Brendan Thompson's he's working. He's developing. He's going to run track this summer, which I'm excited to watch. Excited to see what he can do out there on the track and field circuit. He's going to be running outdoors, so I'm excited to see that. JoJo Earl to Texas or TCU? I don't know. I'm not sure. So would I love to take JoJo Earl? 100%. JoJo Earl has had a very unfortunate injury history, but he's a very solid wide receiver. So if you could get him, I would love him in the slot next year. I would absolutely love him in the slot next year. Absolutely. Denver Harris an option? I do not think so. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's something that we're pursuing. I think Denver Harris is an extremely talented corner, but I think we're looking for something else there. Get Justin Flo, linebacker. Man, I would love to get Justin Flo because I think that would be, sure, bro, you can come in, we can get you right. But also, I think he's staying out west. I think likely a place like USC. He's a California guy. I think he's gonna end up going out there. Yeah, I think we have so many options. I think the only position though offensively that we'd really be trying to get is wide receiver. I don't think we'd be interested in anything else. Who's your favorite dude in the portal right now? Wow. There's a lot of guys in the portal right now. Favorite though, someone that I would definitely want on Texas in the portal right now. I mean, I love JoJo Earl since he was at Aledo as like a junior. Watching him out there in that number 1 jersey, just a scrawny little kid, just burning people, breaking ankles. Dude, I think JoJo Earl's definitely my favorite player in the portal for sure. I would love to get JoJo Earl. Oh my gosh, but I don't know where we're at on that one. Justin Flo is from Washington. I could have sworn he played in California. I guess he might be from Washington, but I swear he was playing in California. Chris Nelson said Spencer Sanders. You're crazy. Spencer Sanders being your favorite player in the portal is insane. I saw some. Hey, I'll be honest though too. We got to talk about this. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this. Tell me why I saw some people saying we should go get Spencer Sanders in the portal on Twitter. Guys, what are we doing? Like, no, and they were dead serious too. They were dead serious. Like, yo, we should go get Spencer Sanders in the portal because, Quinn is not blah, 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 blah. Ready to write a kid off after 9 months in a system is crazy. I've talked about this until I've been blue in the face. Dumb. But what are we doing? As a fan base, what are we doing, yo? What are we doing? And my thing is, too, it's 2 players. Everyone loves writing off guys so quickly here. Everyone really does. Like, whether it's Xavier Worthy this year or Quinn Ewers this year. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? I watched Spencer Sanders play at Oklahoma State for 4 years and never even come close to sniffing his full potential. Not even remotely close. But we got motherfuckers out here talking about, I want Spencer Sanders here in year 5 to not develop under Sark. What? What are we talking about? I'll take Quinn Ewers' upside over almost any other quarterback, any other starting quarterback in this conference, by far. By far. Yes, even Max Duggan. I said it. I'm also a TCU and Max Duggan hater. I don't know about y'all, but that's just me. Could be worse. Could go after JT Daniels. Goodness gracious. That's the real Tate Martell of quarterback recruiting the last 5-6 years. People don't want to talk about that, though. Yeah. Aaron has a good comment here. I rewatched the Baylor game. His passing was pretty solid. Guys, his downfield throws, he didn't have really too many downfield throws, but his footwork looked night and day against Kansas and Baylor. But Sark, to his credit, didn't allow him to do as much as he was doing before, and for good reason, because he had shown he wasn't capable of doing that, and he hadn't really earned that right to, but no. Oh, my goodness. Maybe Brew McCoy will hit the portal again. I don't want Brew McCoy. See, this is the other thing, though, too, guys. I think a lot of people have... I'll be honest about what I like in a wide receiver, because wide receiver is my favorite position on the field. Speed. Speed and route running ability is really all I care about. Can you create separation? That's all I care about. I can do so much more with you if you are capable of creating separation. And that's what I think Sarkisian likes as well. And obviously, it's nice to have that guy in the red zone that's capable of making that play whenever things are tight and people are covered. But I think Sarkisian's model is just like, yo, if I recruit enough 4-3, 4-4 guys, 4-2 guys, you're not staying with them. You're not. And at the end of the day, that's what I like. So I don't think we're in the business for the Brew McCoy types. I don't think we're in the business for like that. It's the same thing with like Troy Omeire hitting the portal. He's not a scheme fit. Also, because I do this, I have to let you know. Guys, I was looking at the past recruiting classes. Not only was 2019 a terrible recruiting class, 2020 is now turning into a very, very sad recruiting class for the Texas Longhorns, which makes me even more excited for the future because it's going to be like, oh, wow, we actually retained half of that roster, and they were actual contributors in like the 21 and 22 class. I'm excited to say that about those classes, but goodness gracious, in 2020, I wanted to go ahead and break this down for you guys. In 2020, Tom Herman's receiver evaluations were just, oh my God, abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. So you had JoJo Earl in that class, didn't get him. You had Jackson Smith and Jigba in that class, didn't get him. You ended up taking Troy Omeire. That class is pain. That class is like, when you go back and really look at the players in the state of Texas in that class was straight pain. Like real just bad, deep down, deep cutting pain. Like, oh my goodness gracious. I see a couple more comments here though. I want to get back to these. I don't want to talk too much about that whole situation was very painful. I was just going to ask you, Kieran, Duggan winning the Heisman, what is the world coming to? Good Lord. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Max Duggan's not winning the Heisman. If Max Duggan wins the Heisman, I already said I'm boycotting every TCU game except for the one that I love watching college football. I don't know. I need to come up with something. There needs to be serious repercussions if Max Duggan ends up in the Heisman. Absolutely not. We need to go up and get it. We need to go up and get it receivers with burners. I mean, that's what Isaiah Nair is. He's capable of creating separation, and he can also go up and get it. But also, Steve Sarkisian schemes guys wide open. I want guys that are good running after the catch and guys that can get open and create separation in short space. Like, LSU had Terrence Marshall, who was like your go up and get it type guy, but he could also burn you because he's a freak athlete. But Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, they can do it all, right? But coming out of high school, they're really just separation guys. Alabama has the greatest receiver room with 4 first-round picks, yada, yada, yada. Who is the jump ball guy in that group? You had Ruggs, Waddle, Judy Smith. It's not like they need, like, I'm sorry, I think the days of like a 6'4", 6'3", 220-pound receiver that just goes up and gets it, and that's what you need on your team, I think those days are kind of dead, especially at college football. Ohio State has go up and get it guys now, and their wide receiver room isn't as electric as it was whenever they had just a bunch of speed and route runners and technicians. That's just me. I think their best receiver room, they had Jamison Williams, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson there. It's tough. Let's see. Harmon wanted big guys that could catch contested ball and break tackles. Sark wants to get guys open and run. Yeah. Get the ball to your athletes in space. I'm way more on the Sarkisian side than the Tom Herman side. And it's because of evaluations like Troy Omeire and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Like, what are we doing? Deuce Robinson playing for an Arizona State championship this week. He's a problem up there in Pinnacle. I wonder who they're playing. Are they playing Seguero? Also, guys, I'm gonna let y'all know. Next week I'm going to be on one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Next week I'm gonna be on one because the high school state championships are going to be next weekend. I believe Duncanville is going to be there. Prosper, they've had a phenomenal season, but now they're running into us, so they're going to lose. But Westlake and North Shore is happening this weekend, and then I get a chance to just slander everybody from the city of Houston for an entire week straight. That is going to be one of the most amazing times of my entire life. I can't explain that to you enough. The Cowboys play the Texans on Sunday, right? The Cowboys play the Texans on Sunday, and I'm about to cook. I'm about to cook because the Dallas Cowboys are going to blow the Texans out of the water. And then that Saturday, Duncanville is likely going to play North Shore in that state championship. I think North Shore gets past Westlake. That's my take, but we'll see. If the Cowboys go out there and blow the doors off of Texans, and then Duncanville goes out there and beats North Shore, y'all will not, I promise you, 2 weeks from now, you will not hear a single positive word about the city of Houston during that show. I'm sorry. Y'all have to get this slander. Y'all have to get this slander. It's going to happen. To anyone from Houston, I actually do respect your city. I think it's a more supportive city than Dallas. I think there's a lot of things as far as like a creator is concerned. Cool. Brandon in here, Brandon Holland saying, watch your mouth. No, absolutely not. I'm here to talk my stuff. I really am. I'm here to talk my stuff. Duncanville's going to win state this year, guys, and y'all going to have to hear it from me. It's going to be a problem. But if they do lose, you get to come and see my tears because cool. Don't think Westlake beats North Shore though. Westlake's really hurt this year. Or they're really hurt right now. But we'll see. I wonder what's how are you guys as high schools doing in the playoffs right now? How are you guys as high schools doing? Why do I dislike H-Town? Well, where do I start? Let's get into it. I dislike the city of Houston because they're a city full of frauds and cheats. What can I say? You cheated to win a World Series. I don't care that they won one recently. They stole Nolan Ryan from us, which is what got them all that good stuff in the first place. Not going to go into it. The Rockets. Rockets are terrible. It's probably the most fraudulent franchise that I can ever remember in professional sports. The only reason why they have championships is because Michael Jordan decided to go play baseball. Rockets are fraudulent. Try to build their entire championship run off of Chris Paul, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, 3 notorious chokers, whatever. Also, they have fraudulent state titles over my Duncanville Panthers as well. Like, what are we talking about? They needed a Hail Mary to beat us, and then Jaquinta Jackson got hurt. And then the next year, we don't even really talk about that because we had a D3 baseball player playing quarterback. But, where do I start on why I dislike Houston? What are we talking about? Nah, Houston's an awesome city, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. They do have some pretty cool things down there in Houston. Some. Let's relax. Theo Weiss, OU transfer from Allen. He was a stud in high school. I haven't seen it. Kieran blasted Houston like Onward Blast saved Houston to Tarleton State. Dang, bro. Going after Tarleton is hilarious to me. But also, does anybody from Stephenville deserve to be defended? Let's be honest here. I'm sorry to anyone from Stephenville, but Stephenville, Texas. What are we doing, man? What year did you graduate, Duncanville? I left in 2016. Alito, 10-time champ, still in it. Face the Lobos this weekend. That's going to be a really good game. The high school playoffs are elite. I'm planning to get back hopefully for the state championship week. That's going to be pretty fun. Yeah, lost in the state final. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really got to go at them. Hey, I'll gladly cheat again to win another World Series if it means screwing over ESPN favorite teams like the Yankees and Dodgers. Listen. Oh my gosh. We gotta stop with the hate of the big teams. They're just better. It's okay. It's fine. Big market teams are always just gonna be good. It's okay to give them their respect. All right. Nah, I'm playing. That's not a good take. I'll be honest. That's a bad take. But Look, if you told me right now the Rangers, all they had to do was bang on some trash cans to not lose back-to-back World Series, I would definitely go back and cheat. 100%. And I would not care. Because at the end of the day, you could take away whatever, you could put an asterisk on it and all of that, right? But you can never take away how you felt in the moment that your team won a championship. And for that, it is what it is. And I've talked about this though too. Yes, I do live in LA. That's why I was saying that. I'm just saying. I've talked about this though too, guys. I believe I am a cursed sports fan. And this is the first time I brought this to public on video, telling you guys about this. Guys, for the past 10 years, my sports teams have gone through probably the most disappointing string of bad luck that I've ever seen in my entire life. And honestly, it's made me think about decommitting as a fan. And when I say stuff like Caleb Williams is my twin brother and this and this and that, I'm not saying that because I really want to root for USC. I'm saying that because it hurts me to tear down Texas so much with my fandom, guys. That's really what I mean. Because it goes on and on and on and on and on again. State championship games in Arlington. Arlington is Dallas. I don't care. If a kid comes out of Arlington, we claim Myles Garrett's from Dallas and he's from Arlington. So, Dallas is up. Metroplex area is Dallas. You can just call it what it is. But back to me being a cursed sports fan. It's pain, guys. Anytime I root for a team, anytime I root for a player, anytime I root for, hell, even a driver. I started watching F1 last year, and my favorite driver, Lewis Hamilton, lost in heartbreaking fashion, and then they sucked this year. Guys, I want to know what you guys think. Should I ride this out? Should I just ride out the fandom that I have right now, or should I just stop? Should I go elsewhere and just, maybe not root for them as hard as I do? Maybe, just do my own thing. Just be a fan with no association, because I feel like I'm holding us back. I'll be honest. And let me be very clear. If I try to go into the next season with no association, watch us win the freaking championship or something. Get back to drinking the Kool-Aid, my friend. This is terrifying. This is terrifying. I don't want to do it again. But I'm looking at the state of the Big 12 going into the next season. Man, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Be a fan of whoever supports. If someone stops you, F them. Nah, I'm gonna continue being a Texas Longhorns fan. It's just it's in my blood now. But unfortunately, I gotta stop. I gotta stop riding as hard and sipping the Kool-Aid. It's something else. Oh yeah, goodness gracious. Thank you so much for this question, ZS. What do I think of the Washington matchup? This is a good game. This is a very good game. And honestly, it's a game that I'm excited for because we're going to actually have to play solid football to win this game. Washington has the best pass offense in the country. Michael Penix leads the country in passing yards, and he's coming back next year. That's how much he believes in his offensive coordinator. I think he could have gone to the league, and I think he was a draftable prospect as well. This game is going to be a real test. It's going to be a real test. And honestly, I want to stop saying honestly, but yeah. And I really feel like this game is so important for Quinn Ewers, and it's going to say a lot. So look, I've given Quinn Ewers the pass at every turn, right? I've told y'all I believe Quinn Ewers is going to be so much better. I believe Quinn Ewers is going to develop over this offseason, and it's just because he hasn't had this much time in the system. He's gone through one install as a college quarterback, right? Guys, if Quinn Ewers goes out there and I see a lot of the same issues and I don't see improvement after 15 bowl practices, the questions are going to start. The questions will really start. I'll really be like, oh, okay, I don't know if you're the guy or not. And yes, I understand it's a bowl game. I do. I really do. But I need to see improvement. Because my thing is, if you go out there and you don't make stuff happen during the season over and over and over again, and now you're coming into a bowl game knowing that you have so much work to do this offseason. You've had a month to prepare for this game. You've had 15 practices to prepare for this game. And you show up and you're doing the same things and you look like you haven't taken it seriously or not. How can I then trust you to go into the offseason and put in the needed work to be good next season? That's my big thing. Quinn needs to show improvement in this game. Don't get it twisted. This is not a meaningless bowl game to me. It's not. It's not a meaningless bowl game to me. You're not going to have Bijan. You're playing against a really solid passing offense. You're going to have to put up points, in my opinion, because they can exploit where you're weakest, and they're going to have a month to really determine where you're weakest. Nah, man. Nah. You need to have a good game. Quinn needs to be able to hit. I want to see him hitting deep shots in this game. Yes. I need to see a good game from him. And if I don't, if I see another stinker, if I see a game like Oklahoma State or TCU, now the questions are starting. Knock, knock, who's there? Arch Manning, Malik Murphy here. If Quinn fails, no lie, what you think? I don't think Arch Manning's going to be playing next year. But I don't know. I don't want that to happen. I'm really hoping Quinn Ewers goes out there and has a good game, because these are questions that I don't want to be asking going into the season. And I don't want to overreact either and just be like, well, we're going to have to get someone in the portal because Quinn's not going to blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not going to do that. But also, he's got to show it. He's got to, this entire offseason, ever since the end of that Baylor game, he is in prove it mode. He has to show it this year. Not to himself, to the team, to scouts. He wants to leave after next year. So all of that work, he has to turn himself into what we saw this year, to a NFL-ready quarterback. That's on him and Sark this offseason. They got to get him as ready as possible. So I think Manning redshirts, but also, what is it going to look like if Quinn's not at that level next year? And then you have Arch come in. Now there's real controversy. Arch is probably going to want to play year 2. That's what we'll see. Who will be running back 1 in the bowl game? I think Roschon. I think this is a perfect chance for Roschon to just get a chance to just go out there, last game as a senior, put it all on tape, and then go to the Senior Bowl and put it on tape some more. Like, I think it's a 20 carry game for Roschon Johnson type deal, and I think he's gonna run his tail off, bro. You think Malik is our starter? I need to see Malik before I can say stuff like that, though. I think I need to see Malik. I don't want to. I think Malik has all the talent in the world. I think Malik has the mentality to go out there and really take it upon himself to get better. But I need to see what he looks like out there. I haven't seen him yet, which is why I'm really excited for the spring game. I'm not gonna lie, or just spring practice in general. Ewers will get Deion if he doesn't improve enough to get drafted. Get Deion? What does that mean? What does that mean? Do you think he goes to Colorado? Do you think he's... what does that mean? But also, even if he's not completely there in his development, I think the best place for him to develop, even if he's taking a bit of a step forward, is here. But I don't know. I'd start Brooks personally, then work in blue and red in the backfield at some point just for a different look. I think it's probably going to be Roschon, though. I think Roschon wants to play in this last game. He isn't fully accurate compared to Quinn, but does have the power for sure. If he can clear that accuracy, he will be a killer, but I'm excited for Arch to come in. I think Malik has the biggest arm in that room. Then that's honestly, I don't know if that's debatable. He has a huge arm, but it's the nuance of the game that he needs to get better at. I'll just say that much. Are we for sure that Bijan's not going to play? All right. I want to talk about Bijan too to close out the show here. If Bijan plays, guys, we should be mad as a fan base. We should be upset. I'm not saying you have to be upset, but I think, in my honest opinion, we should. We should be upset. Oh, it means he's told to hit the portal. That makes sense. But Bijan should not be playing. Chalk it. I don't want I think Bijan might go out there, take like 1 or 2 carries, then like get a standing ovation walking off the field because of how much he's meant to this program. Cool. I don't want to see Bijan playing. I don't. I think Bijan is an NFL first-round draft pick, and you need to protect that no matter what. He has gone through his college career as a running back with a heavy workload the past 2 years. Not as heavy as other backs, but he's gotten out of college football relatively unscathed as far as a running back is concerned, which makes him extremely high value in the draft. I don't want him taking any risk. I don't want the Jalen Smith stuff happening to him. I don't want anything else happening to him. And I think as a fan base, we should not want that either. I cannot wait to watch that dude play NFL football because I've known he was an NFL football player. We all have since the first carry that he took at Texas. You know what I mean? Since the first time you saw him run an open field. Don't want to see it. I don't. And I don't want him back next year either. And also the thing is, like, people are saying, like, oh, well, just offer him a huge NIL deal. Why would you pay someone first round money at a position you're not extremely desperate for bodies in? If it's a quarterback and you have freaking Tyrone Swoops sitting behind, it's like Tyrone Swoops is all you're going to have next year. Now, sorry, not to hate on Tyrone Swoops, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you get what I'm saying. If it's a quarterback and you're like, all I have is Tyrone Swoops, I need you back next year, so I'm going to pay you whatever. I get it. But for Bijan, nah. And in my opinion, too, the transfer portal makes it so much that I think the transfer portal has changed everything so much that you're likely never going to see a guy coming back to play one more year to give you a better shot at winning a championship. Because why would they? You can go get one in the portal if you really need that one position group. Spend all that money that you were going to use to get that guy back. Tell that dude to go walk and go chase his dreams in the NFL. Take all that money and throw it at a transfer or another elite running back or wide receiver, whatever you need, you know? Has Bijan declared yet? He is not, but I think it's pretty safe to say that Bijan is going to the NFL. Not when their stock is already high, too. Yeah, of course. Shout out to Steven up in here. Is Worthy headed to the portal? I don't believe so. But we will see. Who knows? Hey, man, the one thing that I do know about this transfer portal is anything can and will happen. And I think you're going to see even crazier stuff happen. I think you're going to see this develop itself into something like wilder down the road. I think what Jordan Addison did last year opened Pandora's box. Now everybody's like, oh, I'm an elite player at this school. I lost my quarterback. I lost some talent around me. I lost my position coach. Normally, in any other circumstance, I would stay at the school that I just performed extremely well at. But nah, I want to go play at big-time school. I want to go play with an elite quarterback. I want to go play for a national championship. I'm out. I want to go play for more money than y'all could pay me. I'm out. That's going to happen a lot. A lot. And that's why you have to perform at an elite level. Yeah, so the thing is, like, on Worthy, if we went 5-7 this year, I think Worthy probably would transfer. And who would be mad at him? Who would be mad at him? I sure wouldn't. I'd be like, damn, yeah, we didn't perform. It is what it is. Anything about Witt possibly coming back? Ooh, this is a perfect question, too. I want to get to this. How do y'all feel about Jordan Whittington coming back? So I got into a discussion with a couple of friends of mine. And essentially what I was saying was, I think Jordan Whittington coming back, I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be awesome. Don't get it twisted. I think Jordan Whittington playing for another year would be good for the program. But this is my take. Do you want a guy to come back? If your goal is to add portal talent at wide receiver that's likely going to be playing above him on the depth chart? What's the point in him coming back? And I'm not saying, like, what's the point? Like, I get it. Injuries happen, yada, yada, yada. But you're bringing in 3-4 very talented wide receivers that are young. But that's what I'm like, Brennan Thompson, Savion Red. You have Jonte Cook. You're going to have Ryan Niblett. Hopefully you land a guy like DeAndre Moore. You're going to bring in some guys. You know what I mean? You got some guys. If you get those guys, what does it look like? What is it like? Because my thing is, if you're going to tell Jordan Whittington to come back, if you're going to be like, we really want you back next year, and he's going to play less of a role next year than he did this year, what's the point in him coming back? You feel me? I don't know if am I alone in that take, but that's just where I'm getting. We were a better team this year, so it's hard to get down if I were Xavier. I mean, he's one pass away from double-digit TDs for the second year in a row. Just didn't have the yards this year. I think he'll get to double digits in the bowl game, though, too. Yeah, he didn't have the yards. But also, everybody's coming crazy at Xavier Worthy. People forget part of the reason why we weren't in the bowl game this year, or part of the reason why we weren't in the conference championship this year, is because Xavier Worthy missed the second half against Texas Tech. A lot of people forget that. The offense was completely nothing without him out there. Like, people forget that he was, like, everyone talks about Quinn in that game. Or they did talk about Quinn earlier in that game. Earlier in the season, rather. But everybody seems to forget Xavier Worthy didn't play in the second half of that game. And we had nothing throwing the football down the field. Xavier Worthy was also your best red zone player this entire season. Everyone talks about his hands and how bad he was dropping it. He went out there and had a lower drop percentage than Xavier Hutchinson, who was the number one wide receiver in the country, a Blitnikoff Award winner, a Blitnikoff Award finalist. Number one wide receiver in the conference, rather. But, dude, Xavier Worthy, yes, he didn't go above and beyond to make an effort for overthrown balls or balls that weren't where they're supposed to be. I don't think that's his game. I don't. And I think a lot of people were really, really on him. And to be honest, he's one of the best receivers in the country, still, in my opinion. I still believe it. I believe we have one of the best receivers in the country on our roster, and I'm very happy that we have him coming back. Maybe Jay Witt feels like he ain't going to the NFL, so he just wants one more year of UT college experience and a big NIL payday while he's at it. And I'm all for that. Whatever he feels like, I to be honest with you, I don't know. I think he can definitely make an NFL roster. He's got enough natural ability. I don't think he's a high draft pick, or maybe a draft pick. I don't know. That's just I don't know where the evaluations or what his eval is from the NFL. I'm just speculating here, but yeah, it's not his game. He isn't a guy that's going to go up and win with balls in traffic. That's what I'm saying. He's not a jump ball guy. And also, my thing is, like, do you want him laying out? Like, people are upset at him that he's not laying out for balls that are 5 yards out of reach. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to sit there and kill the kid over that. Nair and Worthy starting outside. Then you have Thompson, Hall, Cook, Niblett, Red, and guys in the portal. That's what I'm saying. If you add one guy in the portal next year, I think, especially if you add a good wide receiver in the portal, a good one. I'm sorry, like, who I think JoJo Earl would start over Jordan Whittington next year. If we, like, I'm just saying, hypothetically, JoJo Earl would start over Jordan Whittington. If he's healthy, he's starting over Jordan Whittington. Now, I'm sorry, so what's his role? That's just what I'm saying. But if used properly, Witt is another Duvernay. I'm sorry. No. I think as far as how strong he is running the football, I think he has solid hands. But Devin Duvernay is a 4-3 guy. I don't think Jordan Whittington's not a 4-3 guy. We need at least 2 wide receivers in the portal. I agree. Yeah, Dorian Singer would 100% start over Whittington. I wanted to get what's his name, freaking Jacob Cowing from UTEP, and I thought he would have started over. A lot of people mentioning Barry and Brown. I mean, he's not in the portal yet, but if he was to hit the portal, Barry and Brown is insanely talented. But that just depends on if he hits the portal or not. He said he's BBN for life, so I don't know. Witt is a poor man's Hines Ward, and I love the guy. He's a great possession receiver and a great teammate. I think that's a solid comp. I don't think he's as slow as Hines Ward, but like he's a solid possession receiver over the middle. He's Hines Ward in the college football game, 100%. If Sark can turn Quinn from what he is now into a draftable quarterback in one offseason, that would be his biggest accomplishment as a head coach yet. I think getting Jake Locker drafted in the top 10 was insane. And it's because he was a veteran quarterback that he inherited. But getting Jake Locker to a point where he gets drafted in the top... Bro, think about what Sarkisian's done with quarterbacks. And we talk about him making Quinn an elite quarterback a miracle. Jake Locker is a top 10 pick. Cody Kessler had a 39 touchdown, 6 interception season in the Pac-12. When the Pac-12 was good, too. Back when friggin' Stanford was a good defensive team and Oregon was really solid and Washington ended up getting to that level because of Steve Sarkisian, but it was first year Chris Peterson. But yeah, back when they were a good team. I'm just saying. Also, Steven, we're not doing that. Earl was hurt at Alabama. Talk to any Alabama fan. Earl was hurt at Alabama. It didn't end up working. I think injury concerns, obviously something, but Jay Witt has injury concerns too. Sorry. But Steve Sarkisian has done miracles with these quarterbacks. Miracles with these quarterbacks. And we're acting like him developing the most talented one he's ever had. Yes, I wholeheartedly believe that is going to be something like miraculous. Nah. He's a young quarterback. He looked like a young quarterback out there. Like, the dude turned Mac Jones into a top 15 pick, Jake Locker into a top 10 pick. Cody Kessler was, I think, Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year or like top 3 or something like that year. I think he might have been an all-conference quarterback that year. Dude, he can do some things. He can definitely do some things. He gets an injury pass, but not Jay Witt. No one's saying that I'm not saying Jay Witt gets an injury pass because he played a full healthy season this year. But I'm saying if both of those guys healthy, I'm taking JoJo Earl. I'm sorry, like I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get into this. I don't want to like this. Jordan Whittington had an amazing season, but that's what I'm saying. Like I think if you get a transfer, Barry Brown, if you get a Barry Brown, he starts over him. If you get a Dorian Singer, I think he starts over him. And that's not to diss Jay Witt. I just think it is what it is. Jay Witt is one of the fastest on the team. Jay Witt was clocked at the fastest mile per hour. So his straight line speed was fast, but I don't think Jordan Whittington, if you lined him up and he raced Brendan Thompson, he's not running faster than Brendan Thompson. If you line him up and race X, I don't think he's running this. Yes, he is fast in a straight line. I will say that. He got up and like he looked like he had an extra step this year. Does Quinn float the ball? His passes don't seem to have a lot of zip on the ball. I mean, dude, his passes can have a lot of zip. It just depends on what the throw requires. How are we saying Earl is a playmaker? What is he proven in college? Okay, I don't want to get too deep into this conversation. But what I'm saying is I think JoJo Earl's upside is higher. I'll say that much. And when he's healthy, I think he's one of the best receivers out there. It floats when he doesn't get his feet set correctly. Correct. No one is saying Jay Witt is trash at all. We're just playing the compare. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not dissing Jay Witt whatsoever. Jay Witt isn't a home run threat. Earl is every time he touches the ball. Much better run after the catch player. That's very true. But I think there are different types of run after the catch player though too. Like Jay Witt can bounce off of 3 tackles and go upfield. I think Jay Witt, if I'm throwing to a guy that if I'm throwing a quick out, Jay Witt's going to be able to fight for the extra 5-6 yards that JoJo Earl wouldn't. But I'm not trying to get into the comparison game. If Jay Witt comes back, I can't say that the team would be hurting having him coming back. And I think that's the thing that I kind of realized over the last couple of days is like, yes, I don't think it's needed. I think for me, it's more just like looking at what Jay Witt has done. I don't want to ask him to come back next year to play less of a role. Because in my opinion, it's just like, yeah, come back and then sit behind these transfers that we got. Why would you come back then? You know? Oh, yeah. And I did want to talk about some other transfers, though, too. Let me see. I did want to talk about some other transfers. Speaking of Bama, Tommy Brockermeyer is in the portal. And I think everybody lost their mind over this, which was hilarious. Because when his recruitment was happening, you couldn't have told me that in 2 years, we'd be having a conversation on whether he's a take or not. Crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. Yeah. And to my point, I don't think you need to take an offensive lineman in the portal. I really don't. But if you were to take one from Bama that plays tackle, it wouldn't even be Tommy Brockermeyer. It would be Damian George. That's just how I feel. But like I don't think he's a take at all. But I know we had a video about that. I'll go ahead and state my claim. I don't think Tommy Brockermeyer would be a take. I don't think. Yeah. I don't. Why not take him for depth? This is my thing. He hit the portal because he's deep in the depth chart. Why would he portal out? He wants to play. Like he wants to go somewhere and play. He could go from 3rd on the depth chart at Alabama to coming here and likely being 3rd on the depth chart again. Like, sure, if you want to say that he beat backup right tackle after Cam, who knows if he can beat out Neto right now? I can't say that with absolute certainty. Yeah, I don't think he has a spot on the roster. Like, I don't think he's at that level. No. I'm not taking him for depth whatsoever. No. People are buying into Brockermeyer's recruitment hype for some reason. Yeah, I'm all for... I think you're going to see next year that rankings can be off sometimes. And I think I trust Kyle Flood's evals with the guys that he's brought in this year. And yes, I understand Kyle Flood was the one that recruited Tommy Breikermeyer, but I think I trust his evals this year with these kids. I'm all for it. I think Cam Williams is going to show y'all something special next year. If Cam Williams gets his weight down, I'm telling y'all right now, I'll put that take out there. I'll stand on it. I don't care. If Cam Williams gets his weight down to 335, 340, I think he's going to start playing at like a first round pick level. That's how good I think Cam Williams is. And you have uber talented guys behind him. Neto's a dog. Peyton Kirkland, a dog. Jaden Chapman might push for playing time next year. Like, that's how good I think Jaden Chapman is. I'm just saying. But yeah. Even in his most healthy season, Jay Witt still underutilized. When the plays need to be made, he made them. I think 100% yes. But at the same time, does he give you the most that you could get from that position? I don't know. And like, I'm not saying that like as a slight to him. I think he could be your starting slot wide receiver on a national championship winning team because he's good. He's damn good. But also, do I think that you can upgrade at that position? I think it's a question. Jonathan Brooks behind that young O-line is going to be nice. We have the number one Jonathan Brooks fanboy ever in here. It's Nash. And honestly, Nash, I'm right there with you. Jonathan Brooks is going to be insane. He's going to be so freaking good. This offensive line, I think next year and the years following, it's just going to be so good. I'm excited to see that. Our punter is good. I think we need a place kicker. I think Will Stone's still young. Burt Auburn is actually really solid this year. All things given. Freaking Jeff Banks has done a phenomenal job on special teams. I just wanted to point that out as well. Except for the TCU game. Going pump block there was brain dead. That was just not a good call whatsoever. But punter, I do want to have a conversation about this. I think he has had some nice punts, but overall, I want a punter that's capable of flipping the field. I don't think we have one right now. I love Danny Trejo, but if you're starting an NAIA punter, he's not capable of flipping the field. And that's my problem with him. Any edge guys in the portal? Tell us about Toonmeese is like getting Toonmeese would be it'd be really funny. I think he just really disliked Tom Herman's staff, but to me that recruitment is hilarious because he talks so much crap about Texas. Like oh my god, he was on Twitter day in, day out, just like, oh, LOL, like laughing emojis after our losses, all that stuff. To see him in burnt orange, I would love it. I would love it because it'd just be like, oh, it'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, but it'd be funny too at the same time. Looking forward to seeing Jonathan Brooks in the Alamo Bowl. I'm excited for that as well. Excited to see some of the younger guys getting reps against Washington. I am too, but as long as we win the game. Because goodness gracious, Washington's not anything to play around with. I think the Pac-12 was the second best conference in football this year. We can get an argument about that, but I really do. I think they were the second best conference in football this year. I think they don't have any defense whatsoever. I think they're what the stigma around the Big 12 was before, but they're a damn good conference. Saw that Longview game on YouTube versus Mansfield. The Longview running back is nice, and Sark offered him. Did Sark offer him at the end of the playoff game Friday? I know he was there to see Andre Kojo. I don't know. I mean, damn, I haven't seen this kid from Longview. I'll have to check him out. Penix is not playing. Michael Penix has to be playing. He said he's coming back for another year. Is he not playing in that game? Can we beat Washington without Bijan and Johnson? That's tough because then you're going to have, well, I mean, I think Jonathan Brooks is going to be incredible. So I think he can carry the load, but having no one else behind him, maybe Keelan plays, sure. But I think Roshan's going to play in that game, guys. I really do. I don't want to see Bijan in that game. I don't care if we get blown out by 50. I don't want to see Bijan touch the field. And if he does, I want to see one or two plays and then gone. I think we might lose this game. They clearly have a better quarterback than us during this game. I think it's possible. But also we have a better we have a better team. I thought he wasn't. I'm probably wrong. Yeah, Nash, you got to stop spreading the fake news. Thank you, Steven. Goodness gracious. I was about to say, no, he's playing. He's definitely playing in this game. Michael Penix is going to be back next year, so he's definitely playing in that game. Yeah, no. Hopefully we get up enough to see some league action. I hope so too. I don't know if that's gonna happen. They're a good team. Who do you like this to win this weekend, Kieran? Westlake or North Shore? I already said I'm going with North Shore in that game. I think Westlake's hurt. I think last year, Cade, that would have been a hell of a game. This year, if they had last year's Westlake team against this year's North Shore team, both of them all healthy, I think North Shore gets it done. But that would have been a really fun game. North Shore definitely gets it done. KB is amazing. Colton Basic's a baller, yes, but I think the North Shore is just a problem, even with David Avendor playing quarterback. It's time for the rest of this talent to step up. I'm all for it. But hey, guys, I do want to give this team credit though this year. I was screaming at the beginning of this year, like I want to have guys like on the verge of leaving early for the NFL. Like I want NFL development. We didn't have a guy drafted last year. And I'm just like, I want guys that are supposed to be freaking round 1 draft picks. You know what I mean? I want guys that are coming in with expectations to turn themselves into draft picks. And I think we finally have that, though. Like, I think we're finally starting to see that. If there's anything to take away from what we saw last year to this year, and that's another thing why this year is not a disappointment in any way at all. And I think the more we get away from the season and the emotions that are tied to it, you're going to see just how much we grew this season. Like, we're talking about, we have a left tackle right now who I think could be a top 5 pick. Yeah. Like, we have a left tackle right now who I think would probably be drafted in the 1st or 2nd round right now. We have a tight end that I think is going to be a 1st or 2nd day guy. Or I think he's definitely going to be like a 2nd day guy. I'm all for it. Yeah. All right, Vivek, I do want to get to this. What do you think of Deion leaving Jackson State? Let's talk about this. Because this is actually how I want to end the show tonight, talking about Deion Sanders to Jackson State. So there's 2 sides of the coin, right? There's the one side that's saying he's a sellout. He left at HBCU. He was lying about the opportunities. He code switched whenever he went to Colorado, this and this and that. Then there's the other side that's saying he disrespected the Colorado players, blah, 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 blah. He's going to fail there, yada, yada, yada. I think Deion Sanders is the most polarizing coach in college football since Urban Meyer scandals. But I'll be honest. Look, do I think he's a sellout for leaving Jackson State? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The dude took a bigger and better opportunity, and he's capable of influencing and developing young, elite, talented players. Who's gonna knock him? Also, he's at a institution that is shown that they're willing to invest in him and really allow him to create a culture and a football program in the way that he wants to at a big level. That's a phenomenal situation for him, and I don't think he's a sellout whatsoever. And then on the other side, everyone's saying that he's gonna fail and this and this and that. You're talking about a dude that has so many kids interested in playing for him. So many kids that he's going to be able to walk into the room and sell. And people taking exception to his comments in the locker room whenever he walked in. Are you serious? Because to me, if I was a player in that situation, even if I was one that was getting cut, I respect the way he did it. I respect the way he did it. He walked in the room and he had a conversation with the players that coaches normally have behind everybody's back. And not only did he tell them exactly what it was whenever he showed up, he went in there, he told them exactly, okay, look, some of y'all are not good enough to play for my football program because we're elevating this program. The way I see this program, where I want to take this program, I'm sorry, you won 1 game last year. You're not good enough to play for me. And that, who's knocking him for that? Who's knocking him for that? The transfer portal exists for a reason. He can add 20, 30 new players. And they're all going to be, who's going to argue that they're not better for his system, for his football program, for any football program than the kids that were there and won 1 game? Come on. What are we doing? Kids want to play for him. He kept it real with them. He told them exactly what he needed to tell them. And not only that, he kept it so real by standing there in that room, and he told all those kids, ask your questions now. Don't talk in the locker room. I'm right here to receive it. I didn't go out and talk about all of you behind your backs to the coaching staff, and then I show up to you and blindside you and say you're cut from the team. I told you straight up, a lot of you guys are not going to be able to be here. That's what I'm saying. I'm all for it. I'm all for what he did. I think he kept it a buck. He had the conversation, and I think it's because he's a player. He was a player first. You can say he's egotistical. That's who he is. He has a big ego. He's very brash. He's outgoing. But we're also talking about one of the greatest players to ever play this game. Period. One of the greatest players to ever play this game. Period. I love the way that he handled that entire situation. I thought it was an all-timer. Really. To sit up there and say, I'm bringing some of my baggage with me, and it's Louis. Bar. Like absolute bar. I'm sorry. He's prime. And he's going to do a great job at Colorado. He's going to do a phenomenal job at Colorado. I'm sorry. He really is. But keep doubting him. Keep doubting him. And watch what happens. Do I think that he's going to have success early? No. But do I think he's going to build Colorado into a program that has way more talent than a lot of these other teams do? Yes. And we'll see. I don't know if I'm the biggest believer in Shedeur Sanders at the Power 5 level. Next year, we're going to see what it looks like, but he's going to have talent around him. I can guarantee you that. It's just going to take time to build the trenches. He's going to have the skill players. He's just going to have to build the trenches over time. But, yeah. That's really what it is. Wish Texas could have Deion. Oh, my gosh. If he starts having success and we start feeling it as a head coach, I'm calling Deion Sanders immediately. Immediately. A lot of people won't like it, but, dude, Deion Sanders recruiting in the state of Texas would be a problem. You're not missing on any kids anymore. That's a guy that can lock down the state. Are you serious? He's killing stuff. What are we talking about? If he has success at Colorado, because he needs to show that he can do it on the stage. I still agree with that. Prom simply wants to be the best, and he only wants to surround himself with the best. He's going to change the game. Watch. Look, I've seen many people doubt many of people, but I would rather have him here than at A&M. I'm all for that, Blake. I'm all for that. Because watch us mess around. And be like, no, we're too good for that. We don't want Deion. He brings too much, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes to A&M and starts recruiting all of these kids. Consistently, over and over and over and over and over again. The dude brought the number one player in the country to Jackson State, and y'all think he's not going to be able to build a winning roster at Colorado? Not saying Colorado's a powerhouse juggernaut with all sorts of NIL money. They don't even have all the money to pay him right now. But, dude, come on. We'll see. Yeah, no, I don't want... Okay, listen. I want Sark to be the guy, though. I think Sark is going to be the guy. I think he's going to continue to get better. So, I think he's just slowly turning this program around. And also, guys, we've rebuilt. Like, look at our trench play this year compared to last year. There's more. I think we'll talk about this next week in terms of comparisons on the line. It's incredible. Just incredible what he's done in 1 year. I believe in Sark. I definitely believe in Sark. Fire Sark for Deion. Nobody's saying fire Sark for Deion right now. I'm just saying, if Sark starts struggling and Deion is looking for a big job, I'm making the call. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, Kyle Flood for president, Bo Davis for vice president. They have done wonders for this football program. Goodness gracious. I'm so happy with where the team is headed right now. I really am. Say what you want. We had a disappointing 8-4 season, but also we looked young. We looked inexperienced. We lost games that we should have, which has been the problem the past couple of years, but I think we're going in the right direction. And I think next year you get some solid quarterback play. I think if you get solid quarterback play, it's not going to be like the Tom Herman era where you have solid quarterback play and you still find ways to lose the game. No, I think you're going to have a solid defense. You have the best defensive coordinator you've had since Will Muschamp was here. Yeah, I said it. That's how good I think PK is. Even though it's year 2, I really believe it. He doesn't even have as much talent as the other defensive coordinators did. That's real. He still doesn't have a good edge yet. That's real. He doesn't have, I think he's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. So I'm all for where Sarkisian is headed. So I think we're going to be a good program. I think we're going to be a program that competes on the national level and can possibly compete for national championships here soon. So that's my take. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid early in the offseason a little bit too much. I need to get off of it. They're still in show me mode, but I think 11-1 at worst. Anyway, I'll sign off. You guys have a good night. As always,